Minnesota Fighting Vikings third-round pick Kellen Mond is the quarterback of the future, but not quite yet. It is still Kirk Cousins' team for the next year, probably two given his contract, but the 21-year-old certainly can learn a few things from the soon-to-be 33-year-old Tim Pop Pizza Ranch dictator. Here are 5 things that Mond can learn from Cousins. Now, I don't expect this to be a teacher-pupil type situation. No, it's mostly going to be through osmosis. This is not going to be let me teach you a couple things here, Sonny. No, it's like Kirk obviously sees Kellen Mond as a guy that's going to take his job and will probably treat him accordingly, but it be what it be. Mond can still learn a couple things. Number 1, how to be a pro's pro. And say what you will about Kirk, but the dude puts in the work. He's the first in the building. He's last out type player, usually in stupid footwear. And he puts in that work in the film room when he's not doing gender reveals. And Kellen Mond is known as a worker and a team leader, more a leader by example than just a rah-rah, sis-boom bomb guy. Same thing with Kirk Cousins. But there is a gap between being a student athlete, leader, and this being your profession. And Kirk is a good role model for that transition. Also, tuning out the haters. Right? Kellen Mond, even when he's going to be the man, he's the most popular guy in town right now, backup quarterback is. But with Kirk, he's had his fair share of haters in Washington as well as here in Minnesota. I'm sure back in Michigan State, some Spartans fans are probably like, pass, whatever. But frankly, Kirk might be the most scrutinized player in the NFL aside from Lamar Jackson, which is crazy to think of given the market, given whatever. But Kellen Mond certainly can learn a thing or two from watching Kirk. Oh, yeah, they're talking junk about me again. Anger Kirk. Activate. Number 2 thing that Kellen Mond can learn from Kirk Cousins, be ready for your opportunity. Kirk was a 4th-round pick by Washington. It was their second pick right after trading up everything for RG3, which is pretty insane when you think about it. You trade up heaven and earth, 3 first-round picks and some change to go get your future franchise quarterback. And then with your second pick in that same draft, we'll take another one. Why not? Just in case. But Kirk prepared like he was a starter, eventually got his shot when RG3 was inevitably hurt. Now Kirk is the Iron Man of the NFL. He's never missed a game due to injury, which, knock on wood, hopefully that stays the same for the next couple years. But everyone's healthy until they're not. Alien abductions do happen. And the 2021 Vikings are lined up for a very special season. So Kellen Mond, every single rep, every single practice, every single moment in the film room, in the building, he has to be preparing like he's going to be the guy on a moment's notice. Even this year, even as a rookie. Kirk he was ready in Washington, and then he got a shot, he secured the bag, and just finessed everyone. But yeah, whatever. Next up, thing number 3 that Kellen Mond can learn from Kirk Cousins, pocket awareness. Now, this could also be tied into securing the bag, pocket awareness, get it, but whatever. You don't learn things by example. Sometimes you learn what not to do by watching someone else. Kirk Cousins famously has not been the most pocket-aware quarterback in the National Football League. Offensive line play has been meh, yes, during his time here in Minnesota, but Kirk's awareness certainly does not help the situation. Like, of the 40 sacks last year, you would say, 35 were on the offensive line, 5 on Kirk Cousins, at least. And you do have opportunities missed and mistakes made because protection isn't perfect like it was at times when he was in Washington. Mond, on the other hand, is solidly aware in the pocket. It's one of his best attributes. But we're not talking about just his speed and running ability and just taking off, but stepping up here or there, rolling out, just creating just a fraction of an extra second to make a play downfield. That's what Kellen Mond brings. And that's really all that you need. Tom Brady has the best pocket awareness of any quarterback in the National Football League, and he runs like a 10-year 40. Plus, he's like 90 years old. So, Thing number 4 that Kellen Mond can learn from Kirk Cousins, when to let it rip. And Kirk does have this reputation as a game manager, but that's from anyone who doesn't watch a single second of Vikings football, because it's absolutely false. Kirk is a gunslinger in every sense. Sometimes he thinks that he can make plays that he can't, but he trusts his arm so much. He does throw one of the best deep balls in the league, and his receivers and playmakers so much. He's just like, whatever, F it. And that will get you in trouble, but it's a double-edged sword. Sometimes he'll make plays where it's like, whoa, right? And Mond did have a similar reputation at Texas A&M. He had the strongest arm in the 2021 draft. We're just talking about pure arm strength, not talking about arm talent, just arm strength. But he did have 27 career interceptions. But in 2020, he really reined it in. He only had 3 interceptions versus 19 touchdowns and only a 2.4% turnover-worthy play rate, the lowest of his career. But he can learn from Kirk of when to rein it in and when to let it rip, man. Sometimes you certainly can be too safe, No risk it, no biscuit, man. And he can watch Kirk up close and personal and really calibrate the dope on his scope going forward. Lastly, thing number 5 that Kellen Mond can learn from Kirk Cousins, why relationships are important. Now, Kirk is not known for just hanging out with his teammates. Yes, he did do the odd golf charity photo op, and he did get together with the receivers when he first got here in 2018, but it's kind of more for PR. But it's not a regular thing. Like, you're not going to see Cousins popping up on the gram this offseason, just chowing down with teammates after putting in a big offseason workout. It's not really going to be a thing. And we've talked about that. That's fine. You don't have to be BFFs off the field. All you have to do is have a solid professional working relationship, take care of things on the field, you'll be fine. But I think Mond can learn from this and go the complete opposite direction, especially with Justin frickin' Jefferson, because Mond needs to make JJ his best friend, not to drive a wedge between Jefferson and Kirk that Colin Cowherd can exploit, but because it makes sense. Mond is going to be the quarterback of the future. Justin Jefferson, in 1 to 2 years, or however long it takes Mond to take the starting job, is going to be the best wide receiver in the NFL. Eventually, he's going to be the highest paid receiver in the game. You want to keep him happy because as a quarterback, the number 1 wide receiver in the NFL, it's kind of important. It's kind of important to have a rapport and trust with that guy over there. Both of them are 21 years old, so you don't have that generational gap like Jefferson and Cousins. And Mond eventually should be in every single Jefferson Instagram post, every single YouTube video, putting in that work in Miami. House of Athletes, wow. They need to be tight going forward. And that's it. That's 5 things that Kellen Mond can learn from Kirk Cousins, both learning what to do as well as what not to do. Now, be your thoughts on our thoughts. Let us know in the comment section below. Subscribe for daily Vikings takes. Want to support that work, post on the Venmo. But until next time, Skol, production value.